So let me refresh your memory on long division. You say to yourself, 5 times what is 2? Well, that doesn't work. 5 times what is 22? Okay, well, 5 times 4 is 20. That's the closest we can get. Let's subtract. So I said 5 times 4 gives me 20. Then I subtracted. And I can bring my 0 down. All right, repeat the process. 5 times what is 20? Oh, it's another 4. 5 times 4 is 20, and I'll subtract and get a remainder of 0. We're going to apply that same exact logic to polynomials, things that look like this. Before we do that, maybe I should tell you some of the vocabulary. You don't need to use this vocabulary, but I am going to use it while writing the steps, and so it may help us. Okay, the divisor is this 5 or whatever you have on the outside that you're dividing by. The dividend lives under the house. That is the number that you're dividing out of. The quotient is your answer, and the remainder is whatever you have left over when you're when you're done dividing. Okay, so what steps are we going to do? Here we said 5 times what gives me 22. You're going to do the same thing. The first term of my divisor times what will give me the first term of my dividend. I put my 4 on top and said 4 times 5 is 20, and then I subtracted. So whatever answer we get, we'll put on top and distribute it times both or all 3 pieces, times all pieces of my divisor. Put it down here and subtract. And then finally, once I subtracted, I brought down this unused 0 so I could actually use it in the next step. So same thing down here, you'll bring down any unused number so that you can use it in the next step. All right, let's actually do that now so you can see this in action. We're going to use long division. That's what this is called, long division. We're going to use long division to divide x minus 5 from this polynomial here. So set it up. All right, x times what will give me x cubed? Well, that'll be an x squared. Distribute your x squared to all pieces of your divisor. So x squared times x is x cubed, and x squared times negative 5 is negative 5x squared. And now we're going to subtract. That means change your signs and add straight down. So x cubed minus x cubed, that goes away, which was the whole point. And negative 9x squared plus 5x squared is negative 4x squared. Last step, bring down these unused terms, and we're going to repeat the process. All right, now, x times what would give me negative 4x squared? Negative 4x. All right, distribute. So negative 4x times x is negative 4x squared, and negative 4x times negative 5 is positive 20x. Subtract. That means change these signs and add. Negative 4x squared plus 4x squared is 0, which was the whole point of that. We wanted that to cancel out. And then positive 15x minus 20x is negative 5x. Bring down the unused term and repeat. So x times what is negative 5x? Negative 5. All right, distribute. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. Negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25. Subtract. So change your signs and add. That's what subtracting is. Negative 5x plus 5x, that adds up to 0. And 25 minus 25 also adds up to 0. Long division is very repetitive. Make sure you pay attention to your signs and get everything right. All right, let's divide this by 3x plus 1. Okay, 3x times what gives me 9x squared? 3 times 3 gives me 9, and x times x squared gives me x cubed. So that would be a 3x squared. Generally, it's going to be 1 degree less than what's under here, as long as this is to the first power. If it was squared, then it would probably be 2 degrees less. All right, distribute that. So 3x squared times 3x is 9x cubed. 3x squared times 1 is 3x squared. Subtract. That means change the signs and add. That adds to 0. This adds to positive 15x squared. And bring down your unused terms so we can repeat the process. All right, now you say 3x times what is 15x squared? 3 times 5 is 15, and x times x is x squared. If you end up with 3x times what gives you, say that was a 14, and so it didn't end up nice and pretty, you probably messed up. In real life, you can end up with weird fractions and decimals, but in math class, we're going to make sure these are all whole numbers, so just be aware of that. All right, so 3 times 5 is 15, x times x is x squared, so this is 5x. Distribute your 5x, so 5x times 3x is 15x squared, 5x times 1 is 5x, and now subtract, so that's changing our signs, and then bring down any unused terms and repeat. 3x times what is 3x? 1. Make sure you actually write your 1, not a 0. We don't just ignore that it exists. 3x times 1 is 3x. All right, multiply. 1 times 3x is 3x, and 1 times 1 is positive 1. Oh man, I typoed this problem. But you know what? That's okay. So subtract, subtract. This ends up being a 0. All right, x times what is x cubed? Distribute. Subtract. And bring down your unused terms. All right, x times what is 6x squared? 6x. Distribute. Subtract. Bring down your unused terms. X times what is 7x? Distribute. Subtract.